Hey guys. Alright. Last couple rounds have just been me talking about stuff like advantages, or different stages of a Fortnite match. That includes stuff like the end game, landing, the middle of a match, stuff like that. This round I'm just kind of gonna play. I'm just gonna play and kind of let you in on my headspace and what I'm thinking from moment to moment. First of all, I'm starting out. I go land at the same spot pretty much every time. I land here and then I move up there typically. Sometimes I'll move elsewhere, but typically this is probably the safest spot for me to land because I know this area like the back of my hand. I got a couple people landing around me, so definitely want to be conscious of them. If possible, I don't want to let this guy land. And he's still up in the tree, so I've already done a couple initial shots of damage. It's a bot, so yeah, quick and easy. Okay, now I really don't like using the pump and dump. If Israel's watching, or if you're not Israel and you're watching, he really likes to use the pump and dump. I hate using it, so I will absolutely give it to him every single time. Or I'll just ignore it altogether. But yeah, like you saw there, I really do like to try and get rid of that as soon as possible because it usually just ends up being something that trips me up. As I'm quickly learning that the Scorpion Mortal Kombat kit is the same for me. It'll trip me up. It honestly just throws my whole match off. That guy's name was Greedy. That was an appropriate name. He got greedy. And it did not work out for him, unfortunately. Okay, it sounds like we've got a couple people over this hilltop here, so I'm gonna zoom in and try and take them out as quick as possible. Actually, this might very well be a real person, so it might not be a great idea for me to push. But it'll be a good thing for me to get an advantage on him. There we go, that's what we needed. Okay, so he's driving. I did a lot of damage to him already. I just need to get a couple of shots on him. There we go, that's all I needed. That was kind of stupid of him to try and run across. I think he maybe thought I wasn't still in the car, but I absolutely was. If you get in a situation like that, don't do that. Like, don't make that mistake. He made a stupid mistake there by getting out. And, you know, that, whatever, he might have just not known that I got back in the car, but the fact that he would get out of the car while the car wasn't in motion, that was where his mistake lies. If you're going to get out of the car and there's someone else in your vehicle, definitely make sure the vehicle is still moving, because you definitely want to make as much space between you and your opposing player as possible. Okay. There was a guy that flew across here. Did not make it quite to the top of the bridge, but he probably will come up one of these zip lines, so just want to wait for that. Sounds like he maybe has a bat out. Maybe not. But he is on this barge now. And man, that thing will not break, will it? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's not a situation I really wanna test my luck with. He's got a pretty good distance advantage now. I can't just rush him because he's flown across a lake. I was trying to break the jump pad so that he couldn't jump, but because I failed to do that, he got away. Which again is not a big issue. I'm trying to stay alive, so yeah, stay alive and prioritize that over getting kills. Because eventually, what'll happen is you getting kills will just flow hand in hand with the fact that you are prioritizing your life. And that doesn't mean you need to be overly cautious or, flake out, but only attack when you know you absolutely have the position to do so. Ooh, here we go. Sounds like this guy was maybe right up here, or... And there were Sub-Zero gloves down there, so I absolutely will be going back to those in a second. Just had to kill him first. There we go, Sub-Zero gloves. This might actually make a huge difference because the last couple rounds I've played, I've died. Because I've had the Scorpion kit instead. Which is a decent weapon, I will admit, it's pretty solid, but it just lacks the aggression that I like to have with the Sub-Zero kit. Okay. There is a bike somewhere. I want to try and figure out where he's at. But to begin with, I'm going to set my car up in a position where I can easily escape. By doing that, it makes this a whole lot easier, less stressful later on when I do have to get out of here quickly. I don't have to worry about, how am I going to get out of here? I know where that car is. I know where a couple other car spawn points are. Typically there's one right down there. There isn't one there at the moment. Sometimes there might be one right down here at the base of this building, and usually there's one over on that far side of that building. Ooh, and there's a car right there, so... And there's people there, so I'm gonna let them do their thing. Just gonna stay alive. Oh, and I've got footsteps. There he is, look at him. He looks like he is AFK, or not necessarily AFK, but not paying the most attention. So I'm gonna try and open up a little gap for me to light him up. Come on, pop back out. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Oh, there he is. Yeah, so I think that was a bot. Yeah, it was a bot. He only had one gun. Which is nice. You can kill all the stragglers early on, and then you don't have to worry about them later on. Because later on they'll just get in your way. Yeah, just do a quick little scan, make sure I don't see anybody else. And then I can go ahead and move to my car once the storm hits. Just in 2 seconds. There we go. So obviously now I've got to move because I'm outside of the storm, the eye, which is fine. That's just how it goes. Oof. Okay, I did lose 10 health when I jumped there, so I'm gonna make sure I get that healed up, fixed up. Chests this late in the match usually aren't gonna get you a ton of weapons, but they are good for the sake of getting ammo and gold, which are things that you'll eventually want to make sure you have enough of. Actually, I'm gonna switch cars because I'm almost out of gas here. Ooh. And it looks like I got someone to fight. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, I'm back in the eye now. My next order of business is just gonna be find some high ground, see if I can find anyone to shoot. Ooh, here we go. Just gonna bob and weave a little bit, make a moving target, make it harder to... Okay, and the nice thing about that fight, we were both using suppressed pistols, so it was kind of a quiet fight. No one heard anything except for that last little chunk of the fight where I used my AR. That's where this guy is probably actually going to be kind of dangerous. Yep, he's moving under. And there's this other car over here. And I could make a choice here to attack that car. But then that gives this guy over here the opportunity to hit me from behind, and I don't want that, so I'm going to let him just do his thing. I'm not sure what his headspace was when he did that, but I'm going to let it be. Not my problem. Okay, so there is a guy right up there. Definitely don't want him to see me. He's got a really good position, and he might have just killed himself, actually. Okay, he's still alive. Yeah, he's smart, actually. He used his Sub-Zero gloves to survive that fall, which is really smart. That takes away fall damage, so definitely try that. Alright, I'm gonna get down here, which I've got a little bit of cover, but I've also got access to this bad boy, the jump pad. And that is a medallion, so I really probably should not fight them. Ooh. Look at this fancy looking car. I feel like a real proper basement dweller right now. Okay, there's some people fighting up next to the big giant wolf. One of them just died, so I'm gonna let that be. If you see people that are fighting and one of them dies and you don't push them or you have too much distance between you and them, unless they took a lot of damage, you probably should avoid it, because that means now those people can focus all of their attention on you. It's no bueno. Okay, and I do have a guy down in the vault here. I'm not going to push him because that would be a terrible idea, but he may come out, and it may be a good chance for me to, if not pick someone off, get a little bit of damage on this guy so that he can't do as much damage later. And I want this SUV down here, because I don't really want that anime car anymore. Okay, I'm pushing right towards a medallion. Probably not the best idea, best choice for me right now. Especially this late in the round, there's only 12 people left, so it's a good opportunity for me to just lay low. Try and find some good cover or high ground. Maybe find some stragglers that I can pick off. there's really not a whole lot of people left, so with a map as big as this at the moment, it is going to be pretty hard to find anyone. If I do, it'll probably be maybe like a bot just chilling out somewhere, doing his thing, you know. Ooh. Okay, and it does sound like I might have someone popping down here in a second, so I'm gonna get in a position where I can just beam him when he comes down. This is kind of one of those situations where it's a good idea to set up traps. Yeah, so it doesn't really sound like anyone's actually directly above me. That might change here in a second if this glider lands. But I've also got 30 seconds till storm closes in, so I might just wait for that. And I'm really considering taking this instead of the pistol. It's 31. See, the fire rate's so much higher on the collateral. I think I'm going to take that instead. This is a good weapon, but I just don't feel comfortable enough with the suppressed pistols to take that over the combat or the collateral. Oh, I don't know if you remember this from earlier, but I'm fairly sure this might be the same vehicle as the guy that I killed earlier. Obviously someone else was driving it, but nonetheless, it's nice to have. Right now I'm at like the same health as a normal car. And for this vehicle, it's technically half health, so this thing is very useful. Especially if you're trying to use it as cover. And there are obviously opportunities for me to rush up there and maybe kill somebody, but in this scenario, I'd like to secure a good spot, set myself up for a clean getaway. That's what I'm gonna do here. Yeah. So if I need to, I can rush out, jump in that truck, and get the heck out of here. I'm expecting that I probably will have to use that truck. That's fine, that's normal. But until then, I definitely want to stay, keep my head low, keep my head down, and try to minimize any chances of someone beaming me. Okay. And Storm did move kind of far away from me, so I will have to get back out to that car in a minute. Most likely I'm going to try and get to this top edge of the island, or the peninsula, I guess that would be what that'd be considered. If I can do that, I can get some high ground and maybe get behind a tree. And if necessary, I can also dive off into the water. And Sub-Zero gloves, actually, you can move on water with those, so definitely a good opportunity there. There's only 3 other people left, so I gotta start playing it really tight, really close to the chest here. Play it smart. I'm gonna wait for this storm because there's good potential one of these guys is behind me, and I don't want that. I want them to get ahead of me so that I can be behind them, because that is an advantage. Okay. This truck is super slow. If you've never used it, you definitely have to keep that in mind. Yeah. This actually is a good moment for me to start trying to move up. Kind of start trying to clamp down on these guys. And I probably won't shoot until absolutely necessary. Right here, this is probably a moment where I will have to attack. He doesn't know where I am yet, but he is going to take that vehicle. This might be a situation where I try to pull out a little hack on him. Okay, maybe not. Okay, there's one guy right up there. I'm gonna try and move quietly. He's got the drum gun, so I definitely don't want to get in his way because he's got a thermal scope on his gun, which is a massive advantage. And he's actually in a really good position. He's kind of hidden away from the view. Okay, it's me and one. Ah, man. Eventually I'll win.